to In the Spotlight with Barbara and Christina. My name is Christina Rowe, and this is my co-host Barbara Theodosio.
Hi.
And we're very excited today. We have two fabulous guests with us. We have Kim Weiss, and she's from Kim Weiss Publishing Services and HCI Communications.
Right.
And then we have author Audrey Arbe here, and she is the author of The Mother's Manual. So I'm going to turn it over to Kim. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? It's a very exciting career you're in, and I know you make people famous, is what you told us.
Supposedly.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
All right. Well, just in a nutshell, I've been with HCI, which is a publishing company best known for the original Chicken Soup for the Soul books. That's the shortcut to know who we are. For 18 years, running their PR department. So since doing that, I splintered off a company called Kim Weiss Publishing Services, so I can work personally with authors who need to know everything in every part of the process of publishing, from soup to nuts, from concept to actually what happens after you get published. So that's me.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
And we have in the spotlight today Audrey Arbe, sorry.
That's all right.
And I want to just you introduce yourself for a couple minutes and tell us a little bit about the Mother's Manual.
Okay, so my name is Audrey, and it's spelled A-U-D-R-Y-E. And the Mother's Manual is a book that is guaranteed to create enlightened moms and evolved kids. So we can say, finally, babies come with a manual, and this is it. There's everything in it, including Are You Ready to Be a Mom? Taking you through all the stages of getting ready, prepared, being a mom, and how to deal with it. Because the book is called The Mother's Manual, a spiritual and practical guide to child rearing and motherhood, it is incredibly comprehensive.
That's wonderful.
You know, your book, the reason we brought Kim today is because she would be the perfect person for you to ask questions, since you're an author. Your topic is mothers, which is amazing. I mean, you target a very wide audience. What would you like to know about publishing a book from Kim?
Okay, since my book is already written, I don't need to ask about that. And do you deal with the e-reader kind of stuff, or do you deal with print books? Do you deal with digital?
It's all one thing now.
So you're dealing with all of it?
All of it. You have to.
Okay.
Have to. Yes.
So my intention, I'd like to know if this is like the way to go. I'm already in ebook. Well, I'm not. The book is in ebook.
You're not an ebook.
I'm a person.
She is a person.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm a person who is a mom, by the way, and a Grammy, also a grandmother. Okay, so I've been and done. And it's on the website, themothersmanual.com. So I'm thinking to go Kindle, iPad, Nook, and then print. What would you recommend?
Well, that's kind of like asking me a question out of thin air when I don't really know much about the book.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's behind the book. I don't
Okay.
know what kind of platform you have.
Okay.
And platform is the word that you get sick of hearing from me, because that's the most important thing that you need.
Okay.
For
And
authors,
for
explain to us
authors.
about platforms so people
And
who are
also,
authors
I would also ask you if your book's been vetted. Have you had an editor read it? I mean, have you worked with an editor?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
The platform, and also a question for you is, what is the website you were talking about, the Mother's Manual?
The website itself is called The Mother's
That is your website?
Yes.
Okay, and is it active? Do you have like a blog that you are actively working every day or every week or every month, or?
It's interesting because where my IT woman is planning to make it into a WordPress where I will be doing the blog on a regular basis, I have to say I've been somewhat remiss because I do have a blog and I have not been doing it so much.
Yeah.
But I do have a Blog Talk radio show.
Good.
And
Good.
that one's called Miracle Manifesting Mondays. So it doesn't
Miracle Manifesting Mondays. Everybody tune in. You see, these are all parts of your, and themothersmanual.com. These are part of what I talk about when I talk about a platform.
Well, I'd like you to talk about a
yeah.
platform,
Yeah,
because
please.
you got to understand something. You're doing this for many, many, many years,
Yes.
and you know what you're doing. But there are so many people out there that want to be an author, that wrote a book. So, what is a platform?
Well, I mean, there's a couple. Platform is a built-in audience, is what it is. So, what a publisher will ask you is, are you coming to them with an audience? So this applies mostly when you're going to a traditional publisher. So this is what I tell authors. I say, if you're going to get published, and that wasn't your question, but if say you were going to go to a traditional publisher, make sure you have a good platform and develop your platform, because the worst thing that can happen is that you'll have a platform either way.
Right.
If the publisher rejects you, you'll still have that platform to use
Ah.
for another publisher. Or so having an active presence and growing your audience however you can, and now it's wider than ever, it's easier than ever, it's more competitive than ever. So we want to be big on Facebook. We want to be tweeting, which I still have a little trouble with tweeting, to tell you the truth. I don't get it, but I do get Facebook. So you have to be skilled and active on the social networking. If you have a blog, if you have a radio show, if you're a guest on a radio show, if you write a regular column. So everything is widening your net so that your audience is growing and growing and growing, so that when you do present yourself, you're not just sending out something for 5 eyeballs to see.
Which is so funny.
It's better to be going out with a bang so that you know that there's people out there
You're building your
already.
audience.
Yeah,
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 exactly.
which is so
Yes.
funny because most people, they won't think of that in the process of writing their book,
Right.
and that's really something
Yeah.
to think about, like building that platform as you're either writing your book or as you're growing your book before you present it.
Right,
I mean,
and
which-
this applies probably to more than just books, and I know you
Yeah,
do PR for
right.
other things, so this
Exactly.
applies. So you really need to do this, and for people that are reluctant, and I know that I am sometimes, you might be, you said you had some comment about that you're not blogging as much as you should.
Yes.
At the very least, have somebody do it for you if you can't do it yourself, and have them kind of be you, because it has to be done. It really just has to be done now. It's like there's no way around it. It's, gone are the days where you just get on one television show like Oprah,
Yeah,
God
you
Run
made
It.
it.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
And
exactly.
suddenly you have books selling all over the place, and I work on that. I work with major national TV shows, and I know that you can put someone on a major show, even like Ellen, thinking that you're going to sell books off the shelves, and it doesn't always happen.
Understood.
Exactly.
Because you need to be wider than that. You have to be, I always say, make yourself so that people bump into your message, into your book, everywhere they go.
Okay.
In every
Great
medium.
advice.
And so the medium you choose, whether you're choosing to do a virtual book, an ebook, in any of those formats, it's not as important yet as the work that you need to do before.
So I will be blogging now on a regular basis, at least once a week.
And think big. Think how am I expanding my world? It's all about expanding your world.
Okay.
And when you're asking about virtual books, and you say whether it's Kindle or Nook, they're all the same. Once you get into the right situation, whoever converts your book should be able to convert it to all of them.
That's
It's not
actually, I
just
think, what's
one.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But
And you
that's
want to, like you
flexibility.
said, building your platform is building your audience. And so when you blog, you want to then take those blog posts and shoot them out over to Facebook, over to Twitter, over to LinkedIn.
I actually never thought of that.
And when you do a YouTube, if you do have a YouTube channel,
do
you
actually.
film and then you put that clip on your blog, which then goes out. So the blog is the center, and then everything else
Right,
goes around.
right. And you know that if you join network blogs on
Yes.
Facebook, that you can push one button and it goes
It'll go
everywhere.
out automatically.
Oh, really?
So you'll have it,
Yes.
your, like when I blog, which, don't look at my blog. I'm really being hypocritical right now. I have not been very active on my own blog. But I put a blog post up, it feeds into Facebook, it feeds into LinkedIn, and it can go to Twitter as easily. So it goes all at once, and it's just a matter of pushing a few buttons and setting yourself up. It's very
Really?
simple, yeah.
Because I'm right now on Blogspot, and I don't know which buttons. This is probably so awful to say. I don't know which buttons to push to get it on that.
Well, you'd
do
have to look
something
into
that
that.
calls ping, and it.
Yeah, well, maybe the pinging is doing it. I'm not familiar with that.
I-
but there are other ways. There are ways, but the idea is to get as many places as you
Okay,
can.
I
And
would
it
like
does
to
work
do
with
that.
WordPress network blogs. You put their little badge icon on, and then it'll shoot it out for you.
I definitely want to get more information about this, and if I want more information, you all want
Right,
more information.
exactly. So we know
Okay.
blogging is very
Definitely.
important.
So I
And
will
would you
do
say
that
also
again.
building an email database of people who are in
Absolutely.
your following, like mothers, we were talking earlier about mothers with small children,
Yeah.
pregnant women who are thinking about getting pregnant. So you want to start getting them, collecting their email addresses and putting them into an autoresponder,
Exactly.
like a Weber or Constant Contact.
I have eye contact.
And there's
Okay,
also
wonderful.
parenting books, mommy books. There's a whole network of blogs called mommy bloggers,
Right.
and they have
that's
conventions.
right.
I mean,
I'm
they're
gonna write
Mommy
this.
bloggers, mommy bloggers.
mommy bloggers. There's networks. They have conventions where they're like a big integral part of them.
Oh,
When a book comes to HCI at the editorial committee, which I sit on, you'll have the person will show you in their proposal that they're on, that they blog on all of these, or that their blog is tied in with other mommy blogs. I mean, mommies are powerful.
Oh, yes.
In the book business. They are.
They're a big market.
They're a very big market, and they're probably one of the biggest ones that are alive and thriving online, that are easy to find. You can, they really are, but there's a world out there where there's an audience.
Perfect.
That's bigger than you probably know.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
great
true.
market for you to be in.
And blogging on other people's blogs too, commenting on other people's blogs.
I'm going to get busy on that.
Yeah.
Especially blogs that have, they're rated well, have a lot of followers on them, then that'll help your website too, and your blog when you link back to it.
That'll
And
be
it's
perfect.
something you do in a consistent way. Every single morning, the first 45 minutes, I'll put out to like tons of different things for the Addicts Mom. My blog, I'll just put one thing out and I'll make sure I put it to everything, and I have other people blog, but I do it consistently. Like on a consistent basis, that's the first thing I do every morning. And people just keep coming on the site.
Okay.
So you get into the habit, and
I
that's
shall
what's
do
really
that.
important, that you develop a ritual, that every day, either if it's 15 minutes, doesn't
Right,
matter, but you're
exactly.
doing that every day, 15 minutes, writing. And I think the biggest misconception with blogging is people think it has to be like this big long article and that it has to be perfect spelling. You just want to get it out there, even if it's something you're commenting on, something that's happened in the news.
Oh,
Say
that's
a celebrity
easy.
has a baby.
Yeah, you're right.
You just want to go look at the stories and comment, and it can be a paragraph. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there.
Absolutely.
And
It doesn't
so-
have to be fancy. It can be better if it's got a white background, easy, clear, down and dirty.
And it doesn't even have to be your words.
Well-
A lot of times I'll look up things on addiction and I'll find somebody that wrote something beautiful and I'll quote them. And I'll put them like, so-and-so, and I'll quote it and say, wow, I just started my morning, I read this, it inspired me. It's easier than ever with the internet today to find content.
I've
Just
been
be
doing
sure
it
to
on.
make an attribution.
Oh, yes.
I've been
Get a lot of trouble.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I've been
of course.
saying a lot of this stuff on Facebook. Now, instead of saying it on Facebook, I'm going to do it on a blog.
Well, no,
That's
not
easy.
instead.
In addition.
Okay, in addition, I got it.
Not
I got it.
instead,
I got it.
It's
Okay.
you just build
the
it, build, build,
Facebook,
build.
the blog, the
Right.
tweet, and I have not been using my LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn is really powerful. And
Yes, I have been now doing
I
LinkedIn
love
more.
LinkedIn. I have about 3,700 connections on LinkedIn, most of them
Cool.
South Florida
Uh-huh.
business owners. That's who I targeted.
Uh-huh.
And
Cool.
I love it because you could find out what people do and you could really target your market.
Are you active in groups? Do you participate? Do you talk to people in groups?
I actually have my own group, the South Florida Business Owners Networking
Uh-huh.
Group, and I think we're up to about 730 members right now.
Nice.
And so I run that group, and I am in other groups as well. But I find LinkedIn to be very powerful, and people, like I always say on LinkedIn, they're not there to talk about Farmville
It's more
and
professional.
what they had. It's more professional,
Yeah.
and it's people who are really interested in business. So
Yes.
it's really, everybody out there should be developing your LinkedIn profile and making connections.
You have a
because
course on
It's
that.
really
Why
good.
don't you tell them
I
what
do
your
have
course
I
is?
do have a course called Stand Out on LinkedIn. So
And no, you teach everyone.
yes,
So just say
and I
the
do
link.
teach people how to do that, and I just find it to be a different group of people who are really more eager to do business than Facebook. Facebook's great, but it's
Yeah, it's
business
different.
site.
Yeah.
There are people on Facebook that don't want to do business.
At all.
Exactly.
Like I have a lot of journalists on my Facebook friendships, and I have had CNN book something through Facebook, which was the positive. I've also had someone say, please don't ask me, write me at the newspaper that they worked for.
Right.
So everybody has their
Right.
own. But LinkedIn is always, you can always presume that everybody is seriously there to network.
Exactly.
So you're not going to be
All right.
you're not like intruding like you might be on Facebook.
Well, this is cool. Then I'm going to be doing a lot more on LinkedIn. In addition to what I'm doing, I'll
You
just
have to
find
think of
different
it
ways
as
to
fun.
leverage it. Oh, it is. When I get into doing that stuff, it is. Because I
Yeah.
actually feel, I don't know how you all feel, but that I'm actually speaking to human beings.
Yeah.
And so when I feel like I'm actually, like, here, we four, and other human beings, it becomes real. And because I come from my heart, it's easy.
And something else I want to mention about Audrey that she didn't mention, in addition to the Mother's Manual, she is a psychic healer.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Which is very, very interesting. And especially now, tell us a little bit how you work with, even with young children, with toddlers.
Okay.
And you can help them with their behavior. That's something
Oh, totally.
mothers would really be interested in knowing.
Okay, I do
Some
have a
some
little-
will, some are. You have to be
Well, that's
Yeah,
true too,
because it
right?
depends. Well, I've discovered with some people you have to use the term spiritual therapist or clairvoyant counselor. It depends on someone's orientation, the even words that I use to describe what I do. So what I am and the way I see myself is I'm a mystic intuitive. I'm born this way. I have a way of thinking, seeing, and being that's just endemic to who I am. And I can tune into any person, and see through the guidance what drives them, what their talents are, what their abilities are, what their challenges might be, sometimes why it came up that way, what can be done. I'm also a healer. So if somebody's energy is really off, and anyone's energy can go off, my energy could even go off, okay? So it isn't like it never happens, it can. As a channel and as a healer, the energy of spirit comes through me, and I can send it to people, and their energy will become more attuned. And then I can go deeper, because I'm a Rowe therapist, I do past life regressions, I do a lot of work. And yes, I have a website on that. It's www.audrey.org.
Wonderful. Now, Kim, I wanted to ask you from a publishing perspective.
Yeah.
Now we have like two markets. Now we have obviously psychic books are very popular. John Edward and the medium Alison I forgot her last name, Dubois. Yes, she was
We
as
have
a
one called
book.
The Medium Next Door.
The Medium Next Door, okay, the psychic show. So now she's kind of mixing the motherhood and that with that. Do you think that's a market for that?
I think you have to be very careful.
Okay.
Because I think that some people are going to embrace that, both of those things together, and some people will not take you seriously. And I happen to be one of those people that is holistic, so I'm open to that, to both sides of it. But journalists and people who write and people who read books are not all going to be of that mind. So you have to be careful, and you already know because you said that you're titling yourself different things. So I think you just have to be sensitive.
You have to be sensitive.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's some people that won't touch that kind of stuff, or even self-help books.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
know.
it's tough what I do, because it's not. We're not. Sometimes we're doing memoirs. Sometimes we're doing cookbooks like this book, but this is more than a cookbook. But the New Age market, it's best to kind of find the tributaries that are inside that world already.
Okay. That's really interesting to know.
And the John Edwards and the Sylvia, what's her name?
Sylvia Brown.
They're far, just like everybody in any field, they're far and few, there's not a lot of those people that get to that level.
Understood.
Right. And do you find now, Kim, with books, is that people are going more toward Kindle because the publishing industry is not what it used to be? There's not the book advances. More people are going towards self-publishing.
It's completely changing. We're in an evolution right now. If you look at figures every week, or you read articles in Publishers Weekly, you see the statistics of how ebooks are the sales are growing, multiplying in tremendous numbers. And then the other books are again, a few are poking through to bestseller statuses of yesteryear, but now bestseller numbers are not the same as they used to be, because they're not selling quite as many. It's much more challenging. And everybody's a publisher now, you can be a self-publisher, so it's, the playing field is way different. And I don't think it knows where it's going to be. So we're in that paradigm shift that everybody was talking about. It's like, what would it feel like?
Right. It's here, right?
This is it. And if you're in publishing, you feel it most intimately.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very different world.
We see so many more authors now. Everybody's an
everybody's
author.
an author.
Everybody has a book, and it's not like right. It's not like it used to be years ago, where like if you had a book, my God.
Yeah.
And Christina says something really interesting. You talk about your friend told you your book was like your calling card.
Yeah, I have a friend. His name is Ron Lewis. He's the author of How to Succeed with Women, and he sold like 250,000 copies of that book. And when I met him a couple years ago, I was writing my book, 7 Secrets to a Successful Divorce, and I was so excited about it. And he said, the book is just your business card. The back end is where what you create will be where you make money. And that seems to be like, and it is, it builds credibility when you have a book. I think every author, though, has the dream of being published, especially by a company like HCI, Mark Victor Hansen, everybody knows who he is, and Jack Canfield. So I think that's the ultimate goal. But would you say if you build up your platform and you sell a lot of self-published books, coming to you, you'd be more interested?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a really good point.
It's
a
just
good
plain
yes.
yes. If you can show that you have significant sales
Right.
and a great platform,
Right.
then they'll take you seriously, and a good proposal, and if they have to like the book and see a market for it. So there's other factors, but the answer to that is yes.
Well, 'cause
Self-published people can get published because of
Right, that was the
other
question
things.
we get asked all the
Right,
time, like, what if I
exactly.
self-publish, does that mean I can never get published? So
No,
you've
no,
just
no.
answered that.
Right.
And it's really interesting because that's something now, Audrey, you can consider to do is to really build your platform now. And then eventually you'll want to go to someone like Kim and see if you can publish the book, because that's how you get into all the bookstores. That's what self-published authors run into the block. Okay, you can sell it on the internet, you can sell it on Amazon and the various outlets there. But when you really want to get into the Barnes and Nobles that are there,
Yeah, that's
you
the
do
thing,
need
yeah.
the push of a publisher
You
at
do,
that point.
you do. At this point,
The
you do. That'll probably
distribution network.
change. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's changing though. I mean, it's going to be changing.
As we speak.
I know a lot of people, I know a number of people, and I am building the platform, and I'm going to be doing
Wonderful.
mother study groups, and this will be happening, and we will be on Kindle very shortly. 20 different Kindle books out of the one book. This is a small rendition. The book is 700 pages, and it has vegan raw food recipes.
What
It's
is-
truly comprehensive.
What inspired you to write your book on mothers?
That's interesting. Being a mom is one of the most important things in the world to me. And, all right, I'll give you a little example. When my daughter was a little girl, I'm from New York. We were on a subway, and there was an issue going on with a mom. And my daughter said, talk to her, tell her to stop doing that. And this was a woman. I'm about 5 feet tall, so you get a sense of how big and tall I am. And this woman was way bigger and put out an energy that it would have been dangerous for me to talk to her. So it was clear people need guidance. And since I've seen thousands and thousands of clients worldwide as a healer, it was the natural adjunct. Plus, I'm born the sign of the mother. I
Oh,
adore
isn't
mother.
that
You're a
nice?
Cancerian? Oh,
I am. When's
okay.
your birthday?
July 17th. What's yours?
It's the 9th.
Ah, see? So we know this.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, we have about a minute left
Ah.
to wrap up here. I know it went really fast, right? and
Really
I just
fast.
want to mention this book here. This is, what a great title, the Dead Celebrity Cookbook. Now, that's really interesting. I'm
What is-
assuming
what
these
is
are
the
website
the
for
favorites
that
of
book?
celebrities
This is
who have,
deadcelebritycookbook.com, and it's if you're a movie buff or a foodie, you will love this. It's the former movie critic from Jon Stewart's Daily Show.
so you've got all the big celebrities like Elvis's fried chicken in there, or
well,
Oh, I
nobody
love
who's
that.
living, nobody who's living, but a lot of people. And also, my website is helpmewithyourbook.com.
Okay.
Helpmewithmybook.com. Sorry.
Helpmewithmybook.com. Okay,
Right.
because I know there's going to be a lot of authors watching this who are going to definitely want
Yeah.
to go there. And again, your website?
For the book, it's themothersmanual.com, and for my healing website, it's audrey.org, AUDRYE.org.
Okay, and Christina, why don't you close with our website?
Okay, and which one, right? Okay,
Well, pick
we can
one.
oh my goodness. Okay, you can find out more about Barbara and I at www.womenhelpingwomenshowcase.com,
Exactly.
and then you can read more about us there. And thank you so much for joining us today. We want to thank Kim and Audrey, and we're so happy that you were here to join us.
Thank you.
Thank
And I
you.
know, thank you, I
very
learned a
much.
lot.
It's a pleasure.